This episode of Sessions with Stef is brought to you by our partner, Fearless Sounds. Francesca Sacerdoti, along with her amazing team, take care of every artist's needs when it comes to marketing, playlist placement, advertising, and artist management. You can follow Fearless Sounds on Instagram and Facebook, or just give them a call at 514-409-6061. Thank you, Francesca, and thank you, Fearless Sounds. And now, we present to you our latest session with Stef.
And we are back. Here it is. Haven't heard this sound in a while. That's just gets me going. I don't know, for some reason, an instrument and a beer, good to go. A singer, we're rocking it, man. This is great.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Sessions with Stef here, another episode. Thank you so much for watching. Whoever subscribes, great. Thank you. Whoever doesn't subscribe now, because this one's going to be awesome, and they're all awesome. So I love doing this podcast. It's a musical podcast. I get to talk to musicians, some that I know, some that I don't know. And right now we've never met. We met about 45 minutes ago.
Yep.
And we're going to have an awesome interview. And you know what? I have a feeling there's a connection already. There's already a Loyola connection here, just saying, our high school. And then from there's a musical connection. I heard Karen sing for a little while and it was beautiful. I will introduce them shortly. I like to say hi, Lisa. Thanks for everything, working the cameras and all of that stuff behind. And she's also, we call it the research girl in the radio world, right? Is that it? Right?
I'm the research radio girl.
Yes, but whatever. It doesn't exist, but she helps me because I won't remember the numbers or whatever, and she's going to say them for me.
Very useful.
There you go. So Lisa also has a sister podcast called Let's Talk It Out, so you should go subscribe to that. And of course, Sessions with Stef. Every Wednesday something comes out, either a Let's Talk It Out or a Sessions with Stef. So guys, sign up, check it out. And none of this would be possible without our sponsors. Woo! We'd like to thank them from the get-go. Mm-hmm. Our first sponsor, you already saw the ad, is Fearless Sounds from Francesca Sacerdoti, who's part of Lisa's podcast as well. She's a music publicist, as you heard the ad before this show started. She's fantastic. Give her a call. Any musician who needs a publicist, she's great. She's really good at what she does. An agent, she does all that stuff. Playlist placement, I didn't even know it was a thing, but it's a thing.
It's a thing.
It's a big thing. It is a big thing, yeah. I don't know. Anyway. And then our next sponsor, one that we've had before, Richard Babb Photography. Guys, his photography is so amazing. It's different. It's kind of risque, I'll say. He specializes in cosplay, fine arts.
It's just basically even the portrait. He
does all kinds of photography.
He does very, very. It depends on the look that you want, but it's elegant.
They're super elegant and
they're
sultry. Could it be?
It can be.
Like boudoir style.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really, really awesome. His Instagram page is phenomenal.
Yeah.
And it would be check him out on Instagram. Richard_Babb_photography.
Yeah.
Phenomenal. You can hire him just to take family shots. I would imagine he does it all. But to hit the fine art stuff is really, really cool. He's got an eye that's like, wow, really freaks me out. So really cool. Richard Babb, thanks for sponsoring us. His phone number is
514-923-3168.
Fantastic. And then we're going to go to our new sponsor, who is a real estate agent.
Yes.
So this is fantastic. Everyone could use a real estate agent, guys. Buying a house, especially in this market, very tricky. Very hard, it changes. Last year, a house would go up and you had 3 days to pick your dream house. You would walk in and they would tell you, you got about an hour, and if you don't tell me in an hour, it's sold. And all these things go through. You need a good real estate agent to break it down for you, to make the right choice, to not panic and say, I'm gonna, I want to spend whatever it is because this is my house. The real estate agent say, hey, I visit a lot of houses, there's others, so don't overspend. You need someone who's honest and someone who's good. And Theo Giovannis is the guy for you. He, courtier immobilier, he does residential and commercial.
Yeah.
He's fantastic. I mean, I've got a phone number here for him, but Lisa's going to say it because she has a better voice saying it. But Theo Giovanni's fantastic real estate agent. I don't know if he has a banner. Does he have a banner?
He does have a banner,
okay.
But you will find him at 514-910-8436. Theo at theogiovannis.ca. So he's very, very, he creates a rapport with his clientele. So he's very approachable, he's very honest, and he's going to guide you the proper way. So this is definitely a go-to.
All right. So when I say banner, he's independent.
Well, he does. He does have his independent banner. He has his own brand, Theo Giovannis.
Oh, okay, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So so he's.
So he doesn't need Remax or whatever that is. He does it on his own. But it's good for him. Good stuff.
Yes, it's basically he's kind of linked in Westmount. He's kind of linked with Remax.
Okay.
So yes, it's Theo Giovannis Realty and Remax, but. In essence, I mean, he is his own, his own brand. Basically.
He's that damn good.
Yes, exactly. He has his own brand. It's really sharp too.
He's a professional.
Just like your other two sponsors.
Exactly. We're all professionals.
Exactly.
We also have Nettoyage DMA, but we're just giving him a shout out. He's a regular.
Yes, he's awesome too. He cleans up. He cleans anything.
Residential cleaning.
Notice how I said that like Joe Pesci. He's a professional.
He's a professional.
I feel like I could use all of your sponsors.
You know
Yeah.
what? You can. And we have others too, like because our sponsors not sporadically, but it's not every podcast, but it's always, we rotate quite a bit, but we have such amazing
You've got
sponsors.
everything covered.
We
Yeah.
do have everything covered. Like it's we've had auto parts, tires.
Sex therapist?
Oh,
Well, we had one on.
we had one on. We had a sex.
Okay.
Did we?
Well, we had one of our podcasts. We were in a.
Oh, we did it in a sex shop.
It was in a sex shop.
We had all the toys behind us.
Retail.
Did you
Yeah.
sample?
Well, there were samples and everything. I didn't even know there were those kinds of swings, but I guess so.
Okay.
Okay, this is off topic, but I didn't know this was. They sell a blowjob machine.
Yeah, it's called the Hummer.
It's called the Hummer. I was like, what
Oh.
the fuck? Yeah.
Are they a sponsor too? No?
They are not. It would be.
Well, we
cool.
are promoting them. Maybe I'll give them a shout out.
It would be cool if they sponsored us. I would have it on display.
You get a sample?
You know, if your significant other can't make it home that night, they just leave it home. Whoa.
You know
Well,
what?
I have a problem with that because the Hummer's only for the
Honey, I left the dinner and the Hummer's recharged. What more could you ask for?
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah,
That's weird.
yeah.
Anyway, guys,
What
back to
happened
sessions.
there?
Yeah, back to sessions with Stef. Okay, we're back. We're gonna get on track
This
now.
is a great
What
start.
kind of sessions with Steph?
Oh, there you go. See, it could be a therapy
I'm going to be a
session.
therapist with that. That's it.
I'd like to thank our guests for coming. I'd like to introduce our guests. So we have singer-songwriter Karen Myatt,
Yes.
and then we have guitar player. I would imagine singer-songwriter as well.
Eye candy.
You're the face of the
I am
whole
the face
thing.
of Femoir.
Amazing, and we have Stephen Patrick Clare. A little boy, of course.
Yeah.
So, guys, welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thanks for having us,
You.
Steph.
This is amazing. I checked out. We never met. This is the
No.
first time we met.
I feel like we've known each other a long time though already.
It
You're one of those people.
It's yeah.
You're very
it's-
familiar. So.
Oh, okay, cool. That's awesome. I feel the same way. Like the,
Yeah.
the vibe, instant. You walked in, we started
Well,
talking.
she lives in an Italian guy, so maybe that's part of
That's
I know
right.
the
part of the
difference.
charm. You know,
It's
it's
the
like just
Italian.
instant appeal.
See,
He's a good guy.
He's a good guy.
He's fucked like the wind.
Your subscriber list is going to go through the roof after this episode.
It's all about that. It's all about the eye candy, right?
Let me just
Just follow
apologize to
along.
my mother in advance for anything I might say. I've only reinforced what you already know.
She just said, let's call him the Hummer. That's podcast gold, man. Come on, we're on fire here.
Wow.
Where do we go from here?
Where did we go from here?
That's it. It's a wrap.
Guys, I've heard, look, you see right here, this is Femoir. This is the album that Karen released, and I'm gonna ask, when was it released?
Oh, when was it released? Fall 2021. Is that
Okay.
right? I better look at the Yes.
Okay, and
November
look at,
2021.
and here we have the CD that was released, and it's a great looking CD. I'm gonna hide the beer. Great looking CD right here with pictures.
Oh,
It's-
nice.
It's a beautiful looking CD. I actually listened to quite a few songs from this, and I checked out a few videos, and let me say, originality 100%.
Cool.
You sing fantastic. So I praise you on the vocals, the songwriting abilities. We're gonna find out more as to how it works and what your interests are, influences, and styles, and all of that. Because it's I can't even put a name to it. I can't even say what style it is. I hear like jazz and metal at the same time.
Exactly.
Right?
Okay, mission accomplished.
Okay. Wow, that's cool.
The full spectrum.
It's like, how did she accomplish that? And I'm listening to it, I'm like, oh yeah. Sometimes I hear vocally you kind of want to go for a scream.
Yeah.
But you hold it back.
Yeah.
And it's very sweet at the same time. It's like, wow, I can hear her sing a jazz tune and I can hear her sing Evanescence like that.
Okay.
Right? I don't know.
Ghost, maybe?
Ghost.
Yeah,
you know
Ghost.
Ghost? Do you know Ghost?
I don't know.
Massive.
Okay, your new favorite band.
Okay.
From Sweden, doom metal. Okay, Ghost.
Okay.
The lead singer has a persona, Papa Emeritus. He's the anti-pope. Anyway,
Okay.
look him up.
Cool.
Ghost, okay.
Ghost.
So that's
I'm
a
gonna-
big influence.
Okay,
It's
cool.
funny you bring that up, Steph, because when Karen and I, when we fill out applications for funding or for festivals or whatnot, or we have management do that or whatever, they always have pick a genre, and we're stumped.
Yeah.
I can imagine, yeah.
We eventually came up with the word fusion, that it was a fusion of different influences
And it totally is.
Primarily, I would say you've got to look at the classic, the standards, in the American songbook, because Karen's roots are there, and but also then you mix it with contemporary music, and that includes jazz, and it includes soul and gospel and pop. I mean, you listen to everything, really.
Everything. I mean, I trained in musical theater. I grew up on the golden era, the American songbook. And then, at some point I got into doom metal. And I love classic rock. And I love, other fusion artists like Sting and Sade. I kind of lean towards that.
I see the Sade.
Yeah,
I totally see that.
yeah.
The vocal style.
Sure, she's a bit of a fusion singer,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because
true.
she's got that kind of R&B soul, but she's also got that traditional kind of jazz.
Jazz,
sound,
yeah,
right?
like the bossa nova almost.
Yeah. I love that. So
That's-
Sting too. Sting's another example of that. Yeah.
But your original influence was actually your grandmother.
Yeah, that's right.
So that
You know,
to be
so-
like influenced to be a singer, or she was a singer that influenced.
Yeah, so the story goes, my grandmother on her 13th birthday, she asked for a pony from her dad, and she got a piano. So
He had hearing problems.
same size, probably same cost
Same
at that
cost,
time.
yeah,
Would have
probably.
been 1931 or something like
Yeah,
this.
but you don't have to clean up after a piano.
That's it. So she taught herself at the age of 13 how to play piano and played it by ear her entire life. So I grew up with her, and I grew up with that music in the house. And she sang too, and she had some little recordings that she had done singing some soprano,
So cute.
arias and stuff like that. But mostly she played jazz standards. Like that was the popular music of her era.
at the
So
time.
that was
a lot of Ella and.
everything. Billie Holiday. I mean, Tony Bennett. My God, she's in love with Tony Bennett.
Okay.
He's still going too.
Yeah, but it's interesting because her grandmother grew up and was raised in Nova Scotia. So of course, you have the maritime music influence there as well, the folk and, the Celtic and the bagpipes and fiddles and stuff like that. So we lived there, well, between the two of us, like over 20 years. And Halifax evolved musically. It was no longer, yes, it's always going to be about lobsters and lighthouses and these kind of things. And maritime music, but there was a much bigger jazz scene there when we left. And
Oh, really?
Much bigger classical music scene was quite good. The musical theater scene was quite good.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, you had some really great rock artists from that part of the world too. Sloan originally from there, Joel Plaskett from there, Matt Mays, the Guthries, Matt Anderson. You could go on and on and on.
Yeah.
Sarah McLachlan originally too.
Sure,
So, it's an interesting city in terms of creativity. It's a real collaborative, very much like what you see up here in the Plateau and Myland area, musicians working together and supporting each other and stuff. And unlike that other big Canadian city that shall go remain less, but has won Stanley Cup since 1967. So it's
CBC Toronto.
So
God.
coming back to Montreal last year was
Pink Floyd.
Well, you can tell it's
So we call
springtime in Canada because it's springtime in Canada because the leaves are out.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
But I'm talking too much here.
No, it's great.
So your grandmother lived to be 102, almost 100.
She was 5 days short of her 103rd birthday. And she went to the grave with bright red hair. I was so proud of her. That was one of those things.
So
She was a great lady. She's a bit of a
Wow.
legend in my family and in her community. But
that's so
the
amazing.
music was such a huge influence for me from her. And she knew that. And, she was at every show. Every
Wow.
single show. And once I got into singing jazz standards, she was like,
It was like, oh my God,
this is...
made my world.
Yeah, that was because she always wanted to be a pianist and a singer, but she became a mother and she was a woman of her era and she was at home and playing her own piano that is still in my family was enough for her, so
Wow.
it kind of carried on her dream, I guess.
Okay, yeah.
So it's a deep rooted.
And watching the Lawrence Welk show.
I was the only 10-year-old who rushed home after school to watch Lawrence Welk.
Well,
Oh my God, Sissy and Bobby. Oh my God, yeah.
it was The Price is Right in my house.
Oh, that was lunchtime.
Lunchtime.
Yeah,
This is
lunchtime.
right.
Yeah.
And lunchtime, Flintstones,
Flintstones,
Yes,
yeah.
Flintstones.
classic.
But wasn't it at the same time? So I used to argue with my.
Oh, did you?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
We like scrap over that. Yeah.
My grandparents didn't drink much. Well, no, not so
No.
much. My grandmother was way too religious.
I would have beaten them up, man.
I drank enough for both of them now, so
Okay.
we're
you
good.
go.
We're totally good.
I carry the legacy, you carry the legacy.
I bring it with me, man. Come
Making
on.
our dreams come true.
Speaking of which, I'm feeling thirsty. I'm just,
Okay, this is...
So you studied musical theater. Is that
Did, yeah.
Did you take vocal lessons on the side, or was it just?
Yeah, I started, actually funny, I just saw my voice teacher from the age of 16. She was just here singing a concert in an art gallery, so she's still going. We still work together, but when I was
What's her
16...
name?
Her name's Janice Jackson, not Janet.
Oh, Janice
She's
Jackson.
a new music soprano.
Okay.
Really like nothing you've ever heard before kind of thing, yeah. So I started taking singing lessons when I was 16 after singing at home with my grandmother, and after high school I went straight to musical theater conservatory training because I loved telling story through song. That was like my passion, was telling story through
Did
song.
you do any plays and stuff like that? Did you act and sing? And
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm
yeah.
already like flooded. That is, I've touched on acting, not as an actor, like just for fun. just because there's a camera, I don't call myself an actor, right? But we had
Just because there's a guitar doesn't mean I'm a musician.
yeah, exactly. We had a little episodic YouTube show
Okay.
that we would write, just for fun.
Situation comedy.
Like kind of comedic and
All right.
this little storyline, 10-minute episodes.
That's fun.
But like, it's holy shit, like the work that's in, and we added
intense,
most of it.
yeah.
It's intense.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking, and I've been on stage many times. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, oh, now I have to fucking memorize all the lines and all the words to the song
Yeah.
and the play
Yeah.
and fucking be in tune and move around and be in the right spot because
It's a
holy
machine, man.
shit, man.
It's a machine, and 8 times a week.
And they don't get paid enough.
Oh no, it is a grueling schedule, and it is hard work, and you do become a piece of a machine.
Yeah, totally.
It's fun work, I'll give you that, but it's interesting.
But
bring
you
up
gotta
that-
break the ice like for like 10 years before it becomes fun, no? I'd be.
Oh no,
No?
I mean you get the bug, right? Like it's like
Oh,
you're
yeah, for sure.
backstage and the backstage like atmosphere and the energy and the audience and the orchestra and all of these things and the costumes, and it's really like a dream come true for
Yeah.
younger people. I mean, I went to New York City and I studied this stuff. I mean, and I got to go and watch it professionally at night. It was like a beautiful thing. Well, it was very formative years for me.
And she had a really cool job when she was in New York.
Oh boy. Now
She
we're
was
going to
a
go
dog
deep dive.
walker for the
I
stars.
was a celebrity dog walker.
Really?
Yeah, to make extra cash.
How do you
Yeah.
become a celebrity dog walker? Like,
I was working at the Lion King Broadway and selling Simba dolls, not in the show.
Simba's
and,
cool.
yeah, and while I was in school, and a girl there was part of this family business that was a dog walking company. And I got a job in the store, and then I ended up walking people's dogs. They give you keys to celebrities' apartments. You go in, and then you never see, barely communicate with anybody but the dog, you know, but you become really close with their pets.
I do not want to go through their drawers just to say like,
it's
Robert
weird.
De Niro, I wonder what he does on his off
I walked in on like a private yoga session at one point. I was like, wow, this is so weird.
This is weird, wow.
It was
Oh my
cool.
God,
Who are
that's,
the celebrities?
Can I share with the celebrities?
Sure.
Yes.
Name drop all over the place. And as a journalist, I can name drop.
oh, so you're, wow, okay, this is, wow, holy, from sex toys to journalists
Yeah.
and celebrities.
He's a jack of all trades and eye candy.
And I,
And I did.
James Gandolfini, Tony Collette, Burger, Neil Burger. who's
seeing me
the-
right now, oh my God.
Yeah, and he
My favorite
passed
show of
on.
all
Yeah.
time.
He passed not long after we were walking his dog, actually. Remember that? Not Say Yes to the Dress. It was the Stacey Kent. Maybe you know. It was like a fashion. Oh, she's the research radio.
You see how fast she's got her fingers on Google?
Stacey London. Stacey Kent is a jazz singer, isn't she?
Stacey Kenson.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
she's
can
an
also
American
talk about her.
consultant.
Cool, we can.
Stacey London, American consultant.
Yeah.
American stylist, fashion consultant, opera magazine
TV
editor.
show.
Yeah. Co-host on What Not to Wear.
There you
What
go.
Not to Wear. There
That's
it
a big
is.
show.
What Not to
Okay.
Wear.
Yeah.
So
I could use her help right about now.
he comes in, the guy from What Not to Wear, and I know right away. I'm like, this guy from What Not to Wear. So I show him to I said, oh, you're just in time. Our spring collection has just arrived, and it's like the multicolored poo bags for the dogs. Normally they're just all blue, but they were like in the spring they're green and yellow and purple and stuff.
Okay, that's a weird thing.
Not even a giggle. Nothing.
Nothing.
No, I got nothing out of him. I was like, our spring collection. No, I thought it was gold, but no.
No, so what the dog shouldn't wear, that should be the show, right?
Yeah, right.
So, dog walker /
Yeah.
musical theater in New York. That's
Yeah.
already more than most
You
people
know,
do.
award winner.
Oh,
Am I an award winner?
You are.
What award did I win?
Broadway.
Oh, I was, yeah. After I graduated, I was part of a Broadway's Rising Stars performance, which was at the Town Hall in New York City. It was like my one big night on Broadway.
Wow.
They had chosen graduates from across the country for musical theater programs to perform every year. They do this. And yeah, no, it was really cool. And then my visa ran out, and then I ended up back in Canada. So that's the way that works.
That's just how we met.
Oh no, are we gonna go there?
Yeah.
How much time? do you have?
all right. So,
There's a Montreal connection to that. So, sorry, I'm cutting in here.
You're gonna have to tell it now.
Well, so I'm living in Halifax, and I had just started work with a new job as a journalist. And of course, the journalism industry is not what it was. And, you know, for a few years there, it was a bit of a. But I found a nice little place for myself in that field. And one night, another girl who was interested in me. I was single at the time, and
I can't use.
she took me out on a date. I didn't even know it was a date. I'm kind of clueless. She'll tell you that. I'm kind of clueless when it comes to that. Or like, if a woman shows any interest in me for dinner, it's like I just miss it.
You're looking at the sausage and sauerkraut kind of.
Yeah,
What am I eating?
yeah. It doesn't happen very often, but when it does, like, what? You know. So this woman insisted on taking me out, and she took me to a show of Karen's, and Karen was there with her musical partner at the time, Stuart, and they were amazing. And as an arts critic in Halifax, I thought they were the best thing that I had seen locally or commercially or internationally. For me, they were on par with like Marie Chouinard-Vance from Montreal. They were on par with, you know, visiting acts, but certainly heads and tails above. But they were playing this crummy little club. And so I went home that night and wrote a review for my website, for my company's website, and then sent it to you. And, you know, she was like, oh, I saw your picture on your profile. You were on the radar. I'm like, oh, okay, because I'm clueless. I just saw an amazing show and thought she and Stuart were amazing. So then about a week later, you were in Montreal, because you were living here technically at the time.
Yeah.
And it's a Saturday night, and her friend is visiting from out of town. So she texts me on Facebook. She goes, hey, Montreal boy, I know you're originally from Montreal. I am. And she said, Saturday night, we're in downtown Montreal. Where do we go? So I said, well, where are you? She goes, we're on St. Catherine Street. I go, west or east? She goes, I don't know. I said, you got to go to 280. You got to go to this venue. It's called
281.
I sent her to Club 281 with her friend, so like an hour later, she's like, oh my god, there's shit popping up all over the place.
No idea.
And,
You didn't know?
and then she said the magic words, oh, I think I love you now. Because I sent her to a strip joint. And I'm
I was like,
like,
this
if I was there, I
guy.
would have gone with you too. But
This guy, still the greatest night of my friend's life to date. Just like, that was the best night ever.
It's closed.
Oh,
yeah. No, I'm reopening. Don't worry. So.
What's it going to be called? Eye candy?
No, it's gonna be like you'll get your money back. Don't worry. But the point is that Karen and I met and we became friends, and it wasn't until we were, I guess, about 5 years of knowing each other that we, I thought, well, wait a minute, I do music and you do music. Why are we doing music together?
yeah.
And so we were on a beach somewhere, and one line came to mind in a melody. And we're sitting on the beach, and the pen and the book went back and forth. And next thing you know, we had 2 lines, then 4, then 8, then 6, and 12.
And became our first song.
And it was our first song, which is the title track of this recording.
Femoir.
It was the first song we wrote together.
Well, we need to hear it now.
Yeah.
What a great segue.
What a segue. You see,
He's
journalist,
good, eh?
he's good, man. He's
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Not only I
That's
can.
what I'm talking about. Sorry, Mom.
This is great.
It's in just one thing. It's interesting that we're talking about storytelling, like telling stories through music, because the first song that I ever co-wrote is about stories. So the word femoir, I thought I had made it up, but it was just taking the word feminine and memoir and putting it together. So stories
Really
of the
cool.
feminine spirit is what the idea of the album is, and this song is all about a novel. So it's
But
interesting.
it's
full
also
circle.
it's important to understand the distinction between like the feminist movement and the archetype of femininity or universal femininity. That really we were tapping into things that were more feminine in nature that appear in all of nature. So maternal qualities or emotive qualities or intuitive elements or emotional qualities. We were looking, and then we had this incredible discussion one night about all the places that feminine spirit has shown up through the years. So whether it's, Mary, Mother of Jesus, or whether it was Jeanne d'Arc, or whether it was, great females through history, that feminine spirit just showed up at that particular time to make that change or that impression or to revolutionize the world. And we're not certainly putting Femoir in that category of that kind of greatness, but the idea that you can express your ideas and your thoughts and your feelings about femininity and about the feminine spirit without being overtly feminist.
Yeah.
I mean, I grew up at a time where, it's funny, having lived out of Montreal for many years, I always tell people, I'm not prejudiced. I'm from Montreal. We hate everybody equally. That's just the way that goes.
It's true.
But it's interesting when
High
you
school was so clicky.
and it still is, right?
Still
Let's be
is.
honest, So you have kids. And
My son's in high school, and
It's
he's not at Loyola. He's not far from Loyola. It's really like there is no
not the same.
Distinction.
there is no distinction.
Yeah.
I guess maybe now your tribe is online, right?
It's
Like
like-
people with common.
I guess because we
Yeah.
grew up, so I'll say like, oh, okay, your friend's like Indian or something. Well, so, he's like, no, he's my friend.
Yeah.
Like he's looking at me like, and I'm like, no, it's just because when we were in high school,
It was a thing.
It's just a
Yeah.
thing. It's like
Yeah.
these guys had the Greeks, and say had those 4 or 5 of them, the Italians, and then whatever. It was just that's what it was.
How did Loyola get so many Italians? There's so many Italians in Loyola.
My year now.
My brother was at Loyola.
Yeah, her brother was
My
there.
brother too.
My year was
Yeah.
crazy. Do you remember Mr. Danini?
Yeah.
I forgot his name.
When my year came, for some reason in my class we were like 18 of us. He was
Wow.
like, oh my god.
What am I gonna do with this?
He hired all of us to go work. He hired all- he brought us all-
I believe it.
He was like, what is going on? I don't know, for some reason, and now it's like,
It's
all the time.
It's all talent.
the principal's
Right.
Italian.
Yeah, I know. It's like 80% Italian. Who is the principal, by the way?
Vanny.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Isn't he your brother?
He's my cousin,
Your
actually.
cousin, that's it.
To be honest, he's a cousin. I went to school with him.
Yeah.
Because he was in the same area. He was, I think, a year or two older than me.
Okay.
But like, we're related, but I don't really know how.
That's,
We have
most
my
Italians.
dad's like, no, we have to, because that name, the Vanny name,
Yeah.
Of course.
is
For
related.
sure.
Okay, whose is that? I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Who's your dad? Where'd you go to church?
I think we're like third or fourth cousins.
Okay, okay. The point is you got an in.
Yeah, we got it in. And we got vowels, half vowels.
Vowel.
Good. Anyway. So, okay, Femoir. Like, we're all curious to
I
hear
know that we
hear
got-
this amazing song.
Got a
I heard it
little
already.
there,
I heard it already. And this, I would imagine, is an acoustic version.
This is an acoustic version, yeah. Usually we have a full band on this one. Actually, our piano players.
Yeah, we call him Vinny.
What's his name?
Mitch.
Not Vinny.
Mitch
Allison.
Mitch Allison is his stage name.
Yeah.
It's not his real last name, but hey, Mitchie.
Hey,
And
Mitch,
hey,
love
miss you,
you.
Chris.
Yeah.
Missing you guys tonight. You should be in the background instead of this.
Instead of this smoking.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty hot though. Yeah, pretty cool. It's a cool picture.
He's got a look.
Well, I think it's
Very
Kim
Femoir.
Gordon from Sonic Youth, actually.
Oh my god.
That's who that is. Yeah, the bass player from
She'll be our
Sonic
bass
Youth.
player tonight.
Yeah. She's in the album actually. Her photos like in the
Oh,
album.
she is actually.
So
She's
bunch
in the
of pictures.
collage.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it's
So is my
PJ
daughter.
Harvey, Kim Gordon,
Yeah.
Patti Smith.
Oh wow.
Oh, wait, if we want to talk about influences, we'll be here all night.
Okay, well, we'll
Yeah.
get into a little bit.
Actually, it does look like Kim Gordon.
Wow.
Does it?
Yeah.
Could be. Yeah. Okay, we're in
Okay.
good company then.
Let's do it.
You ready?
I think so.
Sing along at home.
She found the novel by the bed, the one whose author's name she can't recall, and every sentence left unread is every word that never falls from your lips. She wrote the note to you before, the one that tells you that she needs you, but words just tumble to the floor. And after all, she still can't read you. A simple footnote, bittersweet. A paper trail from another lover. Another chapter incomplete. A twisted tale from cover to cover, and the secrets of the pages are the secrets of the ages, or the secrets of the pages are the secrets of the ages. She left the novel by the bed, the one whose author's name she'll never tell, and every phrase she left unsaid is every word that never fell from my lips, and the secrets of the pages are the secrets of the ages, oh, the secrets of the pages are the secrets of the
flower.
Oh, thanks.
Being right next to it, it's like, oh yeah, goosies, you know.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, it sounds really good, guys.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Not bad for a first try.
Not bad, and actually when we were in the studio recording it came really quickly, and it was interesting. Once we had finished recording all 14 tracks on the album, we sent it to a friend of mine here, who's now the bass player in our band.
Okay.
But he does mixing and mastering for a lot of bigger name Quebec artists and stuff. And he said something very interesting, you know. He said, wow, that's the first time in about 10 years I've heard live musicians on a recording.
Yeah.
So when we recorded Femoir, the album, it was all live off the floor.
Yeah.
We did some dubbing, we had a cellist come in, we had
Yeah.
a violin player come in.
Yeah.
But mostly like all the bottom end, the foundational stuff, the bass and the drums and the horns and the guitars, and they were right off the floor.
Yeah.
And you know, he said something really interesting. He said, you know, you can tell the difference, you know, because you can hear the spirit
Yeah.
of music that's not present in the digital only world.
Yeah, absolutely. And we recorded in a beautiful place called the Sonic Temple in Halifax.
Okay.
It's like Great Big Sea and Joel Plaza.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's a
Okay.
lot of the maritime
And it's
artists.
a big, beautiful room, and just to have everybody and their energy making that music together.
So everyone was in the room together.
We're all in the room
isolated
together.
somehow, or
Only I was isolated. I think everybody else had, you know, the drums had some.
Yeah, we had the dividers.
Yeah, it was one big room, you know, and
that's
just,
pretty cool. That's rare.
Yeah.
That's rare. Now it's like you're in a chamber, man. You're like,
Yeah.
you feel like you're gonna get sucked out to
Yeah.
space or something.
It was pretty intense because, of course, everybody had to have their chops down.
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
or otherwise you're doing 60, 70 takes. Because, you know,
Yes.
after you blow that first one, it's always like, you go back to that same note, so I'm not going to blow, you know,
Yeah.
it just happens, and everybody does it.
Yeah.
So, but we got through on a lot of
Well,
simple
those
things.
guys on this recording are some of the finest that not just Halifax has to offer, but the country, like really
Yeah.
amazing players. So
Yeah.
they were no problem when
Oh,
it came to
yeah.
playing live off
It
the
was a
floor. yeah.
really,
Yeah, but that's rare. It's
Yeah.
live off the floor.
Yeah, it was
So that's
amazing.
why, like, to recreate a studio environment on stage, a lot of bands struggle with. We did, because we literally were on stage in the studio.
Yeah.
Right? And I love what you said, that at the end, you know, as we're listening back to the mixes and the mastering, that there were these strange sounds that we didn't put in there. You know,
Yeah,
almost as
there
if the
were-
recording organically took on a life of its own, and just frequencies started to mate.
Yeah.
And so suddenly we had new baby frequencies all over the place that we
Yeah,
couldn't
it's
figure out. And it was
bizarre.
like the ghost in a machine.
It was pretty magical. I was like, that's it, that's Femoir, that's her, you know, hear that? Like, what is
That's
that?
pretty
What's
cool.
playing that?
That's pretty cool.
I don't
Yeah.
know.
I had a similar experience. So I recorded, I just did some vocal dubs at my house. So I isolated the singer and whatever. No, I was in the same room because there was no other instruments. It was just vocal, so whatever. And then she leaves. And I listened to the recording. I'm like, what the fuck? My cat was meowing the whole
Yeah, I love it. I love it. Right in the background upstairs.
Right after she leaves.
Yeah, exactly.
You know,
Was it in tune anyway?
it was
Senki?
no.
No.
I literally,
Oh.
I was the luckiest guy. I shut down. I was like, oh my god, I just wasted the whole session.
No.
And I went back. I was so lucky that I was able to cut out
Yeah.
Oh.
the cat for some reason. Would only do it when she wasn't singing. So I'd take a break and I would cut it out.
It was a cat's
Oh my
heart.
god. Anyway, sorry about that. It was
Our cats, man.
wow.
Okay, we
Okay.
have one. We have one. We know.
So you
It's
know,
always in the
yeah,
line.
oh,
Yeah. Yeah.
So
What's the definition of a cat, by the way? It's a cat is something that gets in the middle of everything and ignores everyone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Right? So like
Does
you're doing
not
something,
give a
you're wrapping Christmas gifts on the
Doesn't give a
table,
shit.
they
Does
jump
not.
right up, they just plunk, and then they ignore you.
Yeah.
It totally. My cat knows me though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I somehow I think because he does not do anything with anyone that the family ignores with me.
Yeah.
I make a noise and he's at it before I even get.
Yeah, no, I'm the same. I'm the
I'll do
same.
that
Yeah,
and he's
that's
back.
it.
He's out.
Well, it's because
I agree.
is he a boy?
He's a boy.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
boys,
know.
it's the alpha thing, right?
Is
so
it the-
hope
is
he
it-
sees me just like lift my hand to like, I don't know, scratch
And he
myself.
kisses.
You know, he's like, oh.
So was Femoir the first song of the album? I would imagine.
It was the first original song on the album. Yeah. It was the first one we wrote, for sure.
Okay.
There's like 3 or 4 others on there that are also originals that we worked on after. One of them was the very last one we recorded called Overvada. But the concept kind of all came together really beautifully and easily. It wasn't like this major struggle. Like I was never pulling my hair out. It was always like I had some kind of guide that just kind of said, yeah, go in this direction, or that's the right song, or that's the perfect sequence of those songs, or it just all kind of like thematically came together quite easily. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
And this is your second album from...
It is, yeah. I recorded back in 2014. I recorded a purely jazz standards with a trio.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and it was like the typical. Like,
Was it
really
piano or guitar?
Piano.
Piano.
There was no
Piano
guitar
upright
on
and
that.
drum.
No, we didn't have
Yeah.
a musical relationship yet.
No, that was before we started playing music together. So
In Montreal, you recorded that?
no, that was in Halifax, also at the
But
Song
there is
Temple.
a Montreal connection. Holly Arsenault played
Yeah.
piano.
Oh, Holly.
You know Holly Arsenault?
Oh my God, years ago. I never met her.
Okay.
I think I hired her on a gig. I needed a
Yeah.
pianist.
She's
to
a
do
gigger.
it. Yeah, she's a gigger.
out there all the time.
So
Yeah.
I would imagine being in the jazz world, you know, Andre White. You know that?
Well, I know the name.
Yeah.
Sure, yeah,
absolutely.
he
Yeah.
records a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Me, it was more back with Uzeb, like Alain
Oh, yeah,
Caron,
Caron.
so, you know. But I ran the jazz
Pablo
department.
Chou.
Yeah, absolutely. And that guy I knew, Pat Lozelle, he's still going. You
Yeah.
still see him on all the Facebook Montreal music pages,
Wow.
playing all the time, and he's older than me. But no, I used to run the jazz department at the flagship Sam the Record Man downtown.
Oh,
So I got to know everybody, especially during Fat Jazz Fest. We'd have all these, you know, major players coming in. And, you know, Pat Metheny came in one day just to hang out. And I'm like, who's the guy with the long hair? And the guy who was working with was an older guy. And he's like, that's not jazz, Pat Metheny. You know, blah, 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 real snob. You know, if it's not like 1958, it's not happening. I'm like, actually, jazz has changed then. But
true. Wow.
But it's interesting because, you know, you have that influence of jazz, but then starting to listening to people that you hadn't listened to growing up, like Led Zeppelin. You knew some stuff, but it was a real revelation to you.
Yeah.
And Patti Smith.
Yeah.
And of course, when you get into someone like Patti Smith, you can't help but absorb some of the literary influence. So the album actually came out quite literary or literate. We
Yeah,
put
that's
real
another
emphasis
theme.
on lyrics because we talk about this all the time, that a lot of what contemporary music is missing is that element of the piece, is the lyrical piece, you know, that it's easy to do the music, but not as profound to. Whereas I grew up with bands like Rush
Right.
and The Clash, where lyrics were important.
Paul Westerberg.
Paul Westerberg.
They would
Tom
write
Waits.
lyrically an album
Yeah.
around the same, like the album was more lyrical. The music is more the same style,
Yeah.
but like if it was a government,
Yeah.
let's say, theme, then all the
Yeah.
lyrics were.
Leonard Cohen. Like,
Leonard
come on.
Cohen.
Yeah,
Oh,
Leonard
God.
Cohen, Rise of the Seven. I mean, you could get political, REM, Peter Gabriel, you know, even Springsteen wrote Born in the USA, that some people think is the greatest anthem to American dominance in the world. It's actually the most anti-American song you've ever heard, just listen to the words. It's all about a guy coming home from Vietnam who was totally screwed over by his countrymen and his government. You know, and of course so many Americans and Canadians went through that.
Yeah.
You know, after that. So, you know, having grown up and you know, on that kind of music, and then Karen discovering it on her own, suddenly there was this whole new influence of like, oh, so music can make a difference.
Yeah.
You know, that you can do music for change. So,
Yeah, and also just the importance of lyric writing, you know, like, and the beauty of it and the poetry of it, and just discovering that that's something that I would like to pursue, you know. Like previously I sang other people's music, you know, especially in musical theater. It was all about other stories and other people's words and becoming another person, and like what we were talking about earlier, we were talking, it's, you know, scary to act, but to me acting was kind of easier because it was like a veil, right? Like you were just pretending to be somebody else.
Everyone knows this is not me, so if I
Yes.
do something stupid, it's not me.
It's a bit safer, but now it's like, here's my song, here's my face, here's my thoughts and my words, I hope you like it. You know, like it's totally different, and it's far more frightening, in my opinion.
True,
you know,
I have to
so.
say that is very true.
Yeah.
It's interesting though, the process though, that we've sort of gotten into a bit of a process when it comes to writing music and words. So oftentimes I'll come up with one line, and I'll send it to Karen in an email, and then it comes back with a second line, and then it goes back to her with a third line, And it goes one of two ways, depending on our moods. It goes really beautifully and well, like, wow, this is great. Or it goes completely Family Guy on us.
Or
you
like,
know?
like completely.
Profound to profane on the same page.
Yeah, profound to
It's pretty-
profane.
Yeah.
That pretty much sums us up as,
Yeah.
as a couple,
Yeah.
let alone as a
And we're
musical.
talking about it now. So.
So we're done.
Yeah.
We're done.
We go anywhere from Leonard Cohen and Tom Robbins, you know, to watching tonight over dinner. We're watching The Simpsons.
Yeah, before we came here.
But it's funny, we never know, sometimes we have an idea of certain songs that we think are going to kill because they're super deep and it just doesn't in the end. And then others that you're like, yeah, I had that half hour of thinking of, I don't know, whatever it is. You write it down and others like are attracted to those lyrics and that song for some reason.
Yeah.
The Damn Truth was saying, this was, I had them on a couple of weeks ago and they were saying, oh yeah, we usually play the song before we record it. So we write a song and we'll play it as part of a show.
Yeah.
And I'm like, are any songs that you actually want to record? I'm like, you know, if you took the time to write it and jam, and they get together every day and jam and write songs.
Yeah.
And like, oh my God, so many. Like,
Yeah.
and one of them was the song we thought would have killed.
Yeah.
We did it once and it died on that stage.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, at work.
It's a true test. We've started doing that too. We've started working in brand new songs to see how they feel and see where they go. Because in a live setting, like it takes on a new life, and a lot of
That's
times
true.
it becomes a totally different song.
The thing is, who
For better or
judges
worse.
that? Like, who judges that?
To me, it's a feeling. To me, it's like the audience is
I guess because
great. and the
if you
listener
don't
is-
feel it,
yeah,
then you already know the audience won't get it from
it's
you.
got to be authentic,
Yeah,
believe
true.
within you, right? You
True.
have to be
Yeah.
able to be inside
Yeah.
of the song, or else what's the point?
Yeah,
isn't
and
it?
you know, when you sell something and you sell it well, this is true of any industry, you have to believe in what you're selling. You know, and if the song isn't right quite there. But then again, you know, as a counterpoint, all it takes might be one minor change, and then the song suddenly
Yeah.
finds itself, you
Like
know, finds
what-
its feet.
There's been a few times where we've been like, well, what? Like Mitch, our piano player, like he's a guitarist as well, fine guitarist, you know. And it's like we've switched him from the piano to the guitar on some of our songs in our sets, and all of a sudden the song works.
They took off.
Wow.
And they took off in a
Or
way,
vice
it's
versa,
interesting because, you know, we played these with, you know, recorded them in Halifax with those players, and they brought a certain identity, you know, they had their own sound. And you take the same song, same structure, same words, and bring it to a bunch of new people. And yeah, of course, the basics are there, you can tell it's the same song, but everybody brings their own individual style. And we told the guys when we got here, these new players that we have with us that we've been gigging with quite a lot here in Montreal, bring your own vibe. You know, we don't want you to be in a Karen Myatt cover band. No, just bring what you want to bring.
Yeah.
You know, if you're doing something wrong, we'll tell you. We'll hit you over the head.
Yeah.
But, you know,
No, it's your voice. You
it's
want
your voice, and
yeah.
we want you involved with that. Because you just never know things can go wonderfully, they can go horribly wrong, but they can go wonderfully right as well. And when they do, that's the magic.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Those
Collaboration.
moments, you know,
Yeah.
it's just like you hear that note, you know, you have that feeling on
Yeah.
stage, the audience responds in certain ways. A concert is just a series of those moments, you know.
I once saw Harry Connick. I'm a Harry Connick guy. I went to see the concert, and this was live. I was about to shit myself. I didn't believe this happened. So the band is playing, sax solo comes on, and the guy fucking rips the solo.
Yeah.
Harry Connick stops the song. This is a big band, like a
Yeah.
20-piece orchestra.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
He stops the song, and this is a Paz des Arts, and he says, guys, I'm sorry, I never do this, but that sax solo hit me right here.
Yeah.
I want to take it again from the sax solo.
Yeah. Nice.
What? He goes,
Needed
yeah,
a
guys.
moment.
And he goes,
Yeah.
we're gonna start at bar 28, whatever's on the sax solo, let's take it from there and go to the end. I was like,
Yeah.
holy shit.
Yeah.
He really did not care that there was an audience.
Yeah, after he's played it a million
Yeah.
times.
I was
What a
floored.
moment for you.
I was like, oh my God, how cool is that?
Who else
Yeah.
have you seen in concert?
Oh God, I've seen tons.
Yeah.
Too
Yeah.
many.
Too many to name.
Depending on the vibe, because I have
Okay.
so many different vibes.
Let's say your top 5 Montreal or top 5 concerts.
Oh, top 5? Oh, that's hard. Oh my God, wow, I'm all fucked up here.
No,
That's one of my
I could
questions.
give you mine, like right now.
All right, you can
Yeah.
do yours.
Okay, I'll start with
We'll
one.
start, okay.
Roger Waters.
Okay,
Boom.
wow, cool.
Yeah.
Can.
Okay.
Yeah,
One.
that's
Yeah.
cool.
For me, U2 1985.
I was at the Zooropa tour, which was 90.
Oh.
I saw the Zooropa.
Yeah, that was insane.
That's a hell of a show, yeah, I have to say. I've seen a lot. Bryan Adams. I've seen Natalie Cole.
Yeah.
I've seen Zeb.
No
I've seen
kidding.
Tito Puente.
Oh, you saw Tito
Wow.
Puente?
I saw
We
Tito
saw him
Puente
too. We
before
saw him
he
in
died,
Halifax.
Did we?
Pier
Did you?
21.
Oh no.
Yeah, we saw him.
That's right.
It was like an early date in our relationship.
Wow, that's
They
way
had
back.
Cuban night in Tito
Yeah.
Puente.
Okay,
Yeah.
And you know what's
okay,
funny? I saw
I
Steve
remember.
Winwood play guitar.
Yeah. Well, he originally was a guitar
Tito
player.
Puente. Yeah.
He was
How funny
originally a
is that? I was
guitar
like,
player.
what the heck is going on?
Do you know who we saw last year that it was the opening act? We went to see Carlos Santana,
Oh,
which was
yeah.
incredible.
That's a
But
hell of a
Earth, Wind and Fire opened. And I was like, okay, bonus.
Oh,
They were
Earth, Wind
amazing.
and Fire.
I mean, I know they're great, but like live.
But you know
they
who
were
was singing for?
They're
A lot
alive.
of people don't know this. Phil
Bailey, yeah. Phil
was
Bailey.
singing.
Easy Love.
Oh,
of course. He was the main.
Amazing.
I'm a big fan.
Easy Love.
Yeah.
Tower of Power.
Oh, Power, absolutely.
Oh,
You're
shit.
talking
man.
my music.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
really, really. I've seen a lot, yeah. And
Rush?
so many. I never saw Rush. I saw he was in the news, which was pretty cool. I saw Tool, Metallica.
Iron Maiden.
I did not see Iron Maiden.
Ooh, okay, gotta go.
I do
Well, they're
not
still
see
going,
those.
because they're still going.
Yeah, they're still going. And they're still going strong, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I can't
He's a Bruce Dickinson is like a miracle man. I don't know how he does it.
He went
Not
through
sure how
cancer. He had
yeah.
throat cancer. About 8 years ago or before.
Throat
Anyway,
cancer.
and he came back stronger. than
His
ever.
voice.
I heard they're top.
They're,
I can't believe it.
They're
Yeah.
a machine,
Wow.
Yeah.
metal machine.
Yeah.
Do you guys mind if we get into some segments? Because this is
Yeah,
where we,
we're
let's
like,
do it.
we
Yeah,
could
yeah,
talk
yeah.
all night.
All right. So one of the segments we'll get into called First Song, but I have to ask this one thing. It's called Worst Gig Ever.
Oh.
Now, see, this is the reaction.
Yours is gonna be way better than mine.
So it doesn't necessarily mean like that you played bad or
Yeah.
just it could be anything. It could be someone fell, broke, cracked, whatever. Anything that's
Yeah.
it just made it the worst gig ever. See, I love
I don't
that.
know if
that
we can go there.
reaction.
Worst gig ever?
Yeah.
Are you gonna go first? I think you should go second because yours is gonna be really good.
No, mine is, you can't say it.
I'm already in
Come
love
on.
with this.
No.
I could name a million things because I was in the theater, so like
Okay.
I almost broke my own ankle many times, and it was very awkward and embarrassing. But I'm gonna say my worst gig ever was, he had mentioned my partner Stuart. I was doing musical comedy cabaret, and we did a little mini tour, and we came to Montreal and we went to New York City.
Mm-hmm.
We booked our gig in New York City on Super Bowl Sunday
Oh.
because we were not football fans at the time.
You had no idea.
And 5 people showed up to the gig, and we were stuck in a back cellar, and the bartenders asked us if we could wait to start our second set because Madonna was about to play. The 5 people on the thing wanted to watch Madonna, and we wanted to watch Madonna, so we watched Madonna like with the audience, and yeah, that was a bad
Wow,
one.
that's
Yeah, it was a bad one.
And did you have to do the full 3 sets for 5 people?
So we did do 2 sets, but we did them. I mean, 3 sets. Madonna was the
Oh, yeah.
middle
Was
act,
the-
so, yeah, there we go.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
All right.
Oh, you, Steph.
Oh my God, I have a whole
I
list.
assure
Is
you.
it like a Spinal Tap?
Well, one of them, I think I mentioned it on Sessions with Steph, was New Year's Eve. And midnight, 12:15, the hugest brawl breaks out in the hall. Like, there was about 400 people, and 50 of them were breaking tables, champagne, like glasses over people's head. It was like a full-out brawl that hit the stage.
Oof.
And just,
Yikes.
everyone just...
You got out of there?
We grabbed our instruments and went out, because it was like, the band was set up here and the bar was here, and it started at the bar and it just wave.
Yeah.
You were
Tables flipping.
protected by those Sabians and those Zildjians.
I got
You
the
had
hell out.
weapons.
We all got out of
Or
there.
you had sticks.
Because I was gonna like
The cowbell.
Back then I was younger. I was like, hey man, if someone lands on my gums, I'm destroying this person.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, yeah,
I'm gonna.
You don't
he's
wanna
not
see
gonna-
that.
I don't want to see that.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's one of them. I mean, I've had tons.
I mean,
but,
fire alone, right? Like, everybody's got a fire story.
yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah.
Like, there's always
Yeah,
fire.
true,
Pyro
true.
alarm.
Bomb threat.
Bomb threat.
Oh.
We were playing at Concordia with, it's back a few years, with a band called 5440 and another band called Pursuit of Happiness.
Okay.
And another band called Northern Pikes.
Oh, nice.
And
Heard of them.
yeah. So ironically enough, we weren't opening that night, which was kind of weird. But we did have, back in the day, I was signed to Aquarius EMI, and we had a single, and we did fairly well and stuff, and had fun with it. But we were on stage, and I was at the mic. I was a singer in the band, And we were kind of like a post-punk guitar band, kind of the Replacements meets REM.
Okay.
You know, but a lot of influenced by a lot of local music, like the Nils and the Asexuals and the Doughboys and Me Mom and Morgenthaler and all these great bands. And a buddy comes up to me and just whispers in my ear, "Don't say it out loud, but there's been a bomb threat. Somebody called a bomb threat into the fucking mic in front of 1,000 people. Bomb threat!" Like that, and people stampeded out. Like, we're lucky nobody was killed. I'm just looking, like my eyes are open. Bomb threat, and that was one of many.
That's awesome.
Yeah, there was another one that involved nudity and a fire extinguisher. But
That's the
I'm not going
classic.
to tell you about that because I don't remember anything. But there are pictures apparently.
All he was wearing was the fire extinguisher.
Yeah,
Where was your guitar?
That's great.
I wasn't playing guitar at the time. Yeah.
Wow, that's a.
Yeah.
Our minds are out there right now.
Yeah,
It's a
sorry,
visual.
Mom.
It's a visual.
Yeah.
My
It's a
mom,
visual.
my 81-year-old mom at Pointe-Claire, she wanted to hear any of this. That's why I'm not finishing the book
Put it in the
until.
book. Put it in.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Wow, hilarious. That's funny.
Yeah.
I had a band here, a death metal band. Super hardcore. I said, "What's the worst gig ever?" And it said, "We."
Oh, you can't even say it.
They played for the Bangladesh national holiday.
Oh, a death metal. Why? Oh no.
So we go on stage
Somebody fucked up.
and we're like,
Somebody.
"This is weird, man." Play your set, like,
Are you sure?
whoa,
Oh my
the next
God.
one. This is we did last one song. There was like
Oh,
the cat. There was a cat.
Yeah, 'cause
and
it rained,
people,
it
like-
rained.
and it was raining.
And so the cat was singing.
Oh my.
I
These
was
were cats.
dying of laughter.
Wow.
I had to say it because it's so funny. It's crazy shit. Like, why would you even? How did that happen? Anyway,
Oh wow.
I'm going to go into my next segment, which is a lot of fun. It's called First Thought. So I'm just going to ask you simple questions. Well, sometimes they're not that simple because I'm going to get you thinking a little bit.
Okay.
But the first thing that comes on, well, that pops in your mind. So I'm going to say like favorite food.
The first thing that came to my mind was sushi, but
Sweet.
yeah.
Cool.
Okay,
Okay.
sushi.
So some people say it and then they're like, "No, I actually hate it." But just
Yeah.
first thing that came to my mind.
Stress.
And you, Stephen?
French or Italian.
Cool.
Yeah, that's the way it goes. Yeah.
Cool.
Mm.
Found out French. What would you go? So where would you go? Let's say French cuisine.
French cuisine, well, my favorite restaurant in Montreal is Café Ferrar, which is
Oh,
on
nice.
Peel
That's
Street.
Portuguese.
Yeah, Portuguese,
Yeah.
you know, and love Portuguese food. I grew up, I spent a few years here on the Plateau,
Okay.
in the Portuguese district, down around Saint Laurent, Rochelle. that
Yeah.
area. And so I just fell in love with nada and,
Piri-piri.
and good coffee.
Oh.
And, you know, every morning the Sante, like right across the street, there was this older woman and her husband, they ran into a place. Every morning the coffee would waft up.
Yeah.
It's like $2. I go over and get a couple of pastries and a coffee.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
paying myself here. It's probably $20 now.
Yeah.
But
Portuguese food is really good.
Portuguese food is
Ooh, yeah.
unbelievable. For French cuisine here in Montreal.
Well, what's a French dish that you would go to?
Oh, confit de
Duck?
like duck. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, okay.
I really love a good duck. We had some great duck in Paris.
We just got back from Spain, so
Yeah.
I've had my
Ooh.
fair share of tapas, which I really love.
Tapas.
We're top it out.
It's my favorite.
And you know what? Pata negra. Did you have pata negra? The meat that's like prosciutto, but it's this.
I had it.
Negra,
I had it.
yeah,
I had it.
yeah. The one you put
I
and
had
you
it.
rub on your lips.
Oh,
No,
my
that's a
God.
gem.
Oh, okay, that's a
It's so good.
But we also have the worst food we've ever tasted in Spain.
Wait, okay,
Ready?
worst food. Worst food.
Okay, next segment. Worst food ever.
Right. Do you know what this is?
Oh yeah,
Trey?
it's a family tradition.
I didn't know when I
can't
ordered it on the
stand
menu.
You ordered it?
No. I said, oh.
And I knew what it
thought
was.
it's
It
a
had it. So I looked at her and go, "You sure?" And she was
Well,
fine.
we had
And I'm
not-
like, what could go? What could
Was
go
it in
wrong?
a sauce at least?
Yeah, it has sauce.
Yeah, it was well done, but it was the worst thing I've ever tasted.
Yeah.
But Anthony
It's rubber,
Bourdain,
it's a rubber.
Anthony Bourdain in Madrid, he was like, try the tripe. So it was like, okay,
Tripa,
well,
it's
you know,
not- In
Yeah.
Italian, it's a famous dish. A lot of
It
like,
is.
people
Oh.
go crazy.
But dude, it's worse than
I
haggis.
can't stand it. I
Have
never.
you ever had haggis?
No.
No.
Haggis is the
Same thing.
strawberry-
Terrible. Yeah.
Don't even,
Scottish
I can't even
version.
look at it.
Scottish
It's,
version.
you know, how do they do that?
Well, I mean, and then you ask anytime, oh my god, tripa is the best thing in the world.
How?
I'm like, guys, it's a piece of
Well,
rubber.
It's yeah, that's what it is. It's rubber.
It's rubber. It's hard rubber.
But you know, it's because
It's
you're
like
family.
organs.
You have to like. I mean, I understand that. Like my mom does it. Apparently, everyone loves it.
Yeah.
My mom does it in a red sauce, like a tomato sauce.
The sauce is okay.
The sauce,
Yeah,
I'll dip
yeah.
bread in that sauce all day long, but why do I have to eat a piece of fucking rubber? It's like putting a screw in there. Do I have to eat the screw because it's in the sauce?
Exactly.
What the fuck? All
Here,
right.
add that to your list now. Worst
There you
food.
go.
See what
Worst
we
food
got.
ever.
Yeah.
That's a good
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Right.
Let's go with favorite TV show of all time.
Can I say two?
Sure.
The Office, Mad Men.
I just got into The Office and I'm loving
Oh, you just got
Just got
so
into it.
much ahead of you.
It's
oh
so
my
good.
God. We've
It's
watched
so-
it 3-4 times all
3
the way
seasons.
through.
All.
Wow.
Yeah.
I know about 3 times all 9 seasons the way through. So we've seen almost 300 episodes of the show.
Wow. All right.
Somehow we find time to make music also.
For me, I'm a big one. I love Mad Men. Mad Men was
Cool.
to me was a great show. MASH from the 70s.
Oh, yeah, nice.
Fantastic show. I still go back and watch some of them because they were funny as heck.
Yeah.
And they had a bit of a political conscience. You know, it's
Sure.
amazing. A show about the Korean War was filmed and broadcast during the time of the Vietnam War. Right? Which was their way of circumventing direct protest against the Vietnam War if they're protesting against the Korean War, but it's still war. So, and MASH is still on today. We have a home down in Myrtle Beach area.
Oh.
And we go down and they have some of these like old time TV shows. So you can watch like Hogan's Heroes and Get
Yeah.
Smart and Gilligan's Island. And MASH comes on and we'll watch it because they're always
Yeah.
funny and intelligent.
It's
Yeah,
beautiful.
they are intelligent,
Yeah. And funny as hell. Like the comedic
Funny,
value
yeah.
was
Cool.
like over the roof.
Yeah.
Awesome.
That's right.
Okay, cool. So now we're gonna get into a little bit more hard hitting, like, well, not hard hitting, but like if I have to ask you, what's your favorite show, one live that you've seen?
Oh, I said it already, Roger Waters.
Roger Waters.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, you did
she's
say it.
like life-changing for me.
Okay.
But I've seen him twice, but just the entire experience, yeah.
I'm going to go with you too, but also I saw the Replacements, and they were one of my hero bands. Like to me, they saved rock in the '80s, you know. And I saw Miles Davis
Oh,
before he died at the Spectrum, and I saw Tom Waits just over here at the Olympia Theater,
wow.
which had been closed for many years, but they just opened it up for that show, and it was a midnight show, the Tom Waits show. And he came out in an old-fashioned bathtub with a paddle on wheels. The shower curtain went around, and he got changed right in front of all of us, and he played for 4.5 hours. And I thought, what?
Amazing.
Like that's the
What the
way it
hell?
should be.
Oh my God. Okay.
Like, so yeah, lots of great shows. Lots
Cool.
of great shows.
If you have to pick your favorite front person of all time, doesn't have to be the best
Oh.
singer, but the best front guy or girl.
It's got to be Bono. We just saw him do his book tour show in
Yeah.
New York.
Yeah.
It's like at the one-man show, you
he's
know, it's got to be Bono.
My
Yeah.
buddy spent a night with him.
Ah,
Yeah.
how?
So there was a restaurant in Little Italy.
Yeah, that's right. They spent a lot of time here. Though.
Yeah, and my friend is really good friends with the owner, and then the owner at a certain point he gets the call and he's like, guys, I have to ask you to leave. I'm sorry. So he asked a bunch of people there, and he told my friend, if you want to stick around, Bono's coming. What?
Yeah.
And Bono walked in with 3 guys, and they sat down and had drinks all night.
That's it.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? I'm like somewhere with some buddies, and I get a text, and I see a picture of him and Bono. I'm like,
Oh,
okay, something Photoshop. What's
Photoshop,
going
yeah.
on? He's like, no, happening right now. I was like, what the hell?
wow.
He's a Loyola boy too.
Oh, no
Okay.
kidding.
Okay.
Yeah.
And who would be your favorite or all-time
All
front
time.
person?
Yeah, Bono's certainly up there. But
Yeah.
I'm always Joe Strummer of The Clash.
Okay, nice.
They were like the first band that really, changed everything for me. It's interesting because I didn't get into rock until later. But I had older cousins and they turned me on. They were Loyola boys also. They turned me on to like Exile on Main Street by the Stones, Marvin Gaye, What's Going On.
Yeah.
A lot of that stuff. But London Calling, when that came out in 1979, it was a siren song because what it did was it took an era of musicianship, like progressive rock and over-the-top rock and really bloated dinosaur rock, and said, well, you don't have to be, a classically trained pianist to make any music. You can be a guy with a guitar in your garage. And I was that guy. I was like, I just want to rock. Because you know what? My first concert, I went to see Kiss. Okay?
That's a hell of a...
Yeah, and I went by
Can you
myself.
believe-
I was like 11 or something, and I was not enough like a fan or anything. It was just whatever. And my mom let me go, but she made me wear like a yellow rain jacket before going in because she'd heard about like goats and chainsaws and blood and shit, right? So I get there and I'm watching Kiss rock out, and it wasn't like I was already studying piano, and I kind of like thought I want to do that because that's way cooler. But it was the chick at the end of my row lifting her top to the band and going, "That's what I want," because I'm 11 and I'm hormonal.
You need one of those.
And so to quote Dizzy Gillespie, who said this when he's 65 years old, he said, "You know, I got into music to get laid, and I'm staying in it until I do." I subscribe to the same theory, but anyway, Joe Strummer of the
Okay.
Clash. How about you?
Oh, I'm always a Freddie Mercury guy.
Oh, yeah. Well, how can you not be, eh?
Yeah.
He can hit one note and it's like, oh man. And I
Just
just
cuts right through.
all his emotions in that one note.
Yeah.
What a live aid. Hey, have you seen the squirrel video with that?
Oh my god.
I saw it at a Rebel Rocket game. They had it up on his
We're going to show it to you.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
cool.
Is it a squirrel or a groundhog?
That's too
It could be a groundhog.
Groundhog.
Yeah, it's a groundhog.
Oh my,
Yeah.
that's hilarious.
Like,
It's
I'm
amazing.
sitting at the Laval Rock. We're sitting at the Laval Rocky, and we hear
Yeah.
Freddie's voice. Hey, hey, and we look up, and there's a friggin' groundhog on the big screen.
I gotta check that out.
It's
That's
hilarious.
oh my
You
god.
could start this episode with that. Yeah.
Done.
That-
We should.
I'm gonna show it on the screen. Yeah, I'm gonna show. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, here's a question. What's the first thing that pops to mind when I say rap music?
Rap music?
Yeah, rap.
Dr. Dre.
Okay, cool, cool.
That's my era, baby.
Cool.
Yeah.
We were just listening to Lil Yachty on the
Oh,
way,
yeah.
and he's done a new album called Black Seminole, and that particular song is off the charts, man. And it's not even really like traditional rap. It almost sounds like Pink Floyd meets rap. It's very spacey and atmospheric.
Okay.
And I think once you start getting into crossover and that kind of stuff, but I mean, I grew up with like Public Enemy, Beastie Boys, right? So
Yeah.
it's there
Okay.
for sure.
Okay, that's pretty cool.
For sure. You rap?
It was never my go-to. So I remember as a kid, I was like, it just doesn't interest me. And I asked the question because like some people will say, I don't consider that music.
Oh.
And I look at it as, it's a different type of music. It's a beat, a
Absolutely.
groove, but vocally and lyrically and musicality, there's an amazing art to that. Like,
Absolutely.
it might not be exactly the same like writing a rock song or a power ballad, let's say, but there's definitely an artistry. And later on in life, I listened to some lyrics and said, okay, so
It's poetry.
it's
Yeah,
poetry.
Absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
poetry with a backbeat to it.
That's
Yeah,
exactly what
And
it
Yeah.
is.
and to get it out is like even like it's something to do it. You know,
Some of those guys and
that grab the
gals,
mic. It's
incredible talent. Some of those guys and gals, you know,
I don't know.
Yeah.
you're watching like Lizzo or some of these others that are rapping
Yeah.
in the middle of their tunes, it's like,
Yeah.
but you see, they're second generation rap now. So they grew up with it in their ears, so they're used to the rhythm, the cadence.
Yeah,
It's-
it's part of the.
It's part
Yeah.
of
It's
their
part of
culture,
it.
right, you know,
Yeah,
so,
true.
yeah,
Okay, I'm gonna go with. Okay, now this is the last segment. Right before we say goodbye, this is the one where we have fun with. It's a Fearless Sounds segment. She came up with the question, which is Francesca, the girl that left. She came up
Okay.
with this question. I have to do it all the time.
Ah.
You have the opportunity to put together your all-time band. You pick. That's the reaction. You pick who's fronting, who's playing bass. You want to have 2 guitar players. You can have 2 guitar players. You want a keyboard player. It's all in your hands.
That is.
Dead or alive.
That is so easy and so difficult. Like right away, I'm like boom, 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 and then I'm like, oh, but
But yeah,
Okay.
exactly. That's the beauty of the question.
I'll go first,
yeah.
so you can
Think about it.
think about your ultimate,
Oh no, I'm there.
She's
Your
like, I don't
ultimate-
want to think more.
your
because-
ultimate fantasy football.
Yeah.
Like, okay, okay. They'll start drums, Neil Peart. There's no way I'm choosing anybody other than
Yeah.
Neil.
I gotcha.
He could also write the lyrics.
Did you ever see his DVD, Anatomy of a Drum Solo?
Yeah, I saw it.
No, I didn't see that
So,
one.
see.
Quite.
Oh, gotta see.
Yeah.
What's amazing how funny he could be.
Yeah.
You know, because
I
it
know.
takes him as this
Hilarious.
really super serious guy, but he shows up in all these weird ads. I interviewed him a couple
Yeah.
times. He got
Oh, you did?
yeah,
Wow, that's
yeah,
amazing.
yeah. So
So
Okay.
Neil.
Guitar, rhythm guitar, Stephen Patrick Clare.
Good
I was
answer.
waiting on that.
Good answer.
And like lead soundscaper, Jeff Beck. Because there's no
By the
other
way,
choice.
flowers. You can send whatever you send flowers.
It's already done.
But you and Jeff Beck, like, oh my god.
Oh.
It'd be like Johnny Depp and Jeff Beck.
No comment.
That was
no
a
comment,
thing, by
Johnny.
the way, just in case you don't know, Google Jeff Beck, Johnny Depp.
Yes, it's a thing.
Okay.
Okay, bass. Ooh, I wanted to say Sting, but I'm gonna say Rhonda Smith because we
Oh.
saw her play with Jeff
Rhonda?
Beck. Well, she's from Nova Scotia, isn't she?
No.
No, in Montreal.
She
She
played-
lived in Alpharetta
Okay,
School.
that's
so
She
true.
played weddings for the
Ah.
showman for
She does,
years.
yeah.
She is a
Monster.
Fucking
monster.
monster, yeah.
Beast bass
Yeah,
player.
she
She
is.
is so cool. She's
Wow.
amazing.
She looks
There.
like a superhero now too. She was
Ah,
wearing
yeah.
like this militarized outfit when we saw her Jeff Beck. She came out, she stood at the
She was
front.
like front, had her solo.
It was insane.
Ah,
Wow.
yeah.
Oh,
Total
Okay, that's
superhero.
good.
That's a good
And
pick.
front person?
Keys.
Oh, keys.
Mm,
Just the fact that you have
Nina Simone. No,
Oh, nice.
Annie Lennox.
Oh.
I'm gonna put Annie Lennox on keys and backup vocals.
Okay. Oh, that works.
You were signing Annie to the back row, are you? To Denial Al?
Well,
Yeah, no, that's good. You got an all-star line.
well, you need a front person. If she's behind on the keys,
Uh-huh.
what if you had Nina Simone and then Annie Lennox, or vice versa? That would be weird. Wouldn't it be weird?
Yeah, especially since Nina's almost dead. You know,
A
so
couple of them.
that would be.
All of them are almost.
Yeah. It's true. The 27 Club, you got.
Yeah, and we'll have Annie on keys and then Bono as their front person.
Bono's. Whoa, that's
That would
interesting.
be weird. Oh, and then you need a horn section, so we'll just throw in Coltrane and Chet Baker.
Chet over Miles, right?
I choose Chet
Okay.
because I love I love his voice.
Well, I love your alliteration. I choose Chet.
I choose Chet. It's a good T-shirt. Yeah. Okay.
That's-
Boom. Does that?
That's fucking A, man.
What are they called?
What do they call it?
No. Okay. Moving
Holy
on.
fuck.
What
There
the
is a holy
fuck?
fuck
WTF.
already.
There is
Yeah.
a holy fuck.
Yeah.
For me, a front person, Karen, of course.
Oh.
That's payback.
Yeah.
50
You
bucks,
had to.
50
Yeah.
And then a secondary just to
Secondary,
Just
like
sounded
vocalist.
yeah.
If I had to have a backup vocalist,
He's good. He's
I
good.
want to go with Mariah Carey, but you're so much
Oh.
better. I'm gonna go Robert Plant.
Nice.
Okay, just
Okay.
because.
How about the, guy, girl from two front?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
we'll do that.
I dig Robert Plant.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, he can be in the band.
Yeah. And if you got back in your guitar and you're playing guitar, I'm gonna take Jimmy Page.
Of course,
Led
yeah.
Zeppelin.
It was a
The sloppiest, loosest, tightest guitarist ever.
Fucking A, man.
Bass player, Flea, Chili.
Oh,
Nice.
yes.
Is my pick. Yeah.
But naked,
yeah,
I'm a
right?
Flea guy.
Naked.
Does he play any of the way?
No.
I mean, really?
Yeah, he's got to be naked.
He's got to be naked.
Got a whole Cox on socks thing, can I say that? Cox on socks.
Socks and socks.
I got mine on right now. Or socks on Cox.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, so what's?
Although Cox on socks.
Yeah.
Well, if you lay out some socks.
$1 million idea is what that is.
We've come full circle.
Next album.
Yeah.
I would see his motion, I was so like, he put his sock out and he went like that.
Talking
Oh, boy.
about deep lyrics, right?
Yeah,
There
exactly.
you go.
Cox on socks.
Or right here, you saw your first folks.
That's it, we're just gonna be a small little 5-piece band.
Small little 5-piece band. Oh wait, drums.
Yeah, drums.
Keith Moon.
Nice.
Whoa.
Deep purple.
That's
We
gonna
need
get
somebody to
crazy.
get you drunk in the band.
And that's gonna hit harder than he's such a hard hitter.
He's insane.
That's a
Fucking
fun
insane.
band.
If it weren't for Keith Moon, we wouldn't have me up here.
Yep.
You know?
100%.
And if we didn't have John Bonham, we wouldn't have Jeff Vaccaro. Because, 4 on the floor, man.
4 on the floor. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, Vaccaro's time. What about, what's his name? Kenny Aronoff. The clock, they call him.
David Wyckoff, a big David Wyckoff fan. He's actually too good. If I
He's
pick,
too good.
He's
Yeah.
too good.
That's
It's
like Daddy
too
Carey.
perfect.
Everything that Daddy Carey is like bang on.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
You know?
And that's the beauty of John Bonham.
Yeah, he's just.
like-
I mean, how do they play over Black Dog? How do they play over the beat of Black Dog? Because it works.
Yeah.
Because Page is playing like 12/9 time.
Time signature is like,
Yeah.
boom.
But
I don't know.
after X amount of bars, they meet again. So
Yeah,
it
I
works.
don't know what happened there.
There we go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you? All-time band?
I'm not allowed to be asked this.
Absolutely.
Yes, we must hear
See, I'm a Freddie guy. Like, I really, there's something
Yeah.
about Freddie. He's fronting drums. Oh, see, I'm gonna have to go with Jeff Porcaro just for that shuffle. Like,
He's got the show.
he's got the shuffle.
But it's because he he plays around the beat.
Yeah.
He's not like an Aronoff, like on every time.
Yeah, and
But because of it, he creates this little pocket, this micro pocket of rhythm, so the stick can actually fall. But one thing I loved about Beccaro is we knew what to do when he didn't hit.
yeah,
The space in between, he knew the dance.
he's got, he can hit hard, he can, but he's just got a feel, and he doesn't take over the whole,
No,
right?
he knows
he's gonna
when
do
not
a
to
little,
play.
just that little thing, it's like, oh, wow. And then you try to do it, it's like, why can't I do that beat? And it's the hardest beat in the world.
Yeah.
Have you ever played
Not to
Rosanna?
play, yeah.
That, the Rosanna beat,
Yeah.
if you play it like Porcaro, it's really hard to play.
Yeah, it
It's like hours of practice, because
Yeah.
that shuffle, he really, anyway, I kind of have his vibe. I picked Flea as my bass player.
Yeah,
I don't know why I see them gelling.
they could groove.
Don't know
They
why.
could, I bet you they have grooved.
Probably.
Because I think Beccaro's still out in LA, isn't he? He's
Yeah.
out in LA for years, so all those guys hang out.
True, yeah. I would, so I'm a Nuno Betancourt guitar
Yeah,
player.
absolutely.
He's
Extreme
especially
for-
now that Extreme was my high school band,
They were great.
Okay.
and he can play.
Last song at every level of dance was more than
More than words, man. Do you know
That's what I
he
heard Jack Black singing the other day.
More than words? Oh yes, I saw that
Yeah,
video.
yeah, yeah.
Totally,
Jimmy
totally
Fallon.
saw it. Yeah, with Jimmy
We were
Fallon.
talking about it
Totally,
earlier.
yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, so I would have to have Nuno.
Yeah. Incredible player. I mean, acoustic analog.
You know, he toured with Rihanna. How funny is that?
No
Yeah,
kidding.
he's a guitar player for Rihanna.
Yeah.
Sure.
But they just came out with an album, Extreme. And the song called Rise, like the guitar solo.
Yeah.
It's like,
Insane.
people can do that, like what the fuck? He's that type
Who
of
was
guy.
the singer for them again?
Gary Jerome.
Yeah,
Remember
that's right. He went out on his own for a while. didn't
He did a little failed tour with Van Halen.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
That's right. He was with Van Halen for a while.
one album
After Hagar.
After Hagar.
That's right.
He
Yeah.
did-
Yeah. They had like 5 guys after Hagar.
Yeah, and then after that.
Hey, look, nobody is David Lee. You know, I'm sorry, man.
True. Yeah. So yeah, that's my band.
That's good bass player
Fleet
though. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Guitar?
guitar. I have Nuno.
Oh yeah. Just one, I guess.
True, eh?
Yeah.
Am I?
Let me see. Freddie,
Yeah.
Beccaro,
Yeah.
Flea,
Yeah.
and
It works.
Betancourt.
It
It
works.
does
It
work.
Yeah.
kind of works, eh?
It, yours
would
works
be-
the most.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you know, the guy from Rage, Tim Comerford, also a hell of a bass player.
Yeah.
He really is. To follow Tom Morello on the guitar like that, and to be able to keep up and fill in the space in between, because they don't do any like backup rhythm guitar. It's just when Morello's soloing, there's just the bass and drums. There's nothing else. But then again, Rush, right? And what do you say about Geddy
Geddy
Lee?
Lee.
Like, wouldn't you have? I don't have him on my
No.
baseball team. Would it be on my band?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
you know, sometimes you look at bands and you analyze them, and I'll say like Van Halen, Michael Anthony. I always thought he was the simplest player ever, just only because that's what I heard. But it's like, no, he made the band sound good.
He did.
Because he knew when to play simple, which is
Yeah.
most of the time. Because you got fucking Van Halen, you got
Right.
Eddie ripping
You
the
gotta
shit
get out
out
of
of
the
it.
way. Just
You gotta get out of the way.
solve
But then I've seen
Yeah.
him with other bands. I'm like, oh man, this guy grooves.
Yeah.
Holy shit, he
Yeah.
can play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it never comes across. It's like the 8 note.
Yeah, he plays that
Yeah.
jazz bass.
You know?
It's like
Yeah.
Jack Daniels.
He's more of a show. There's a band called, what's the band called? The band that is a joke. Steel
Nickelback.
Panther. Steel
Oh yeah,
Panther.
Steel Panther.
Oh my god.
Hilarious.
Nickelback.
I like Nickelback, that's the saddest part. And I was like, I'm really excited about
It's
that.
like 1987 all over again.
Yeah, Steel, did you ever see Steel Panther?
Yeah, yeah.
You wanna laugh?
Not live, but on video. They're hilarious.
Fucking hilarious. Did you
They're
ever
coming to
see
Montreal. They're coming to
No,
Montreal.
I thought it was
They're coming to Montreal.
If you want to laugh,
Yeah.
if you want to laugh, like I did a whole road trip to Quebec with the band, and all
Yeah.
we did was play Steel Panther songs and videos, and I just cracked
It's
up. They just
hilarious.
think it's heavy metal, well,
Yeah.
rock. Every 80s band they copy, one song sounds like another 80s band, but really good musicians. But the lyrics,
So funny.
like I'll just give you one line:
Okay.
2 in the pink and 1 in the stink. So.
Say no more.
And the band goes, and they all go like this.
Oh boy.
Right? And that's the sign of the song. But it's fucking hope. I'm telling you. So that's just an example. That's just an example. So anyway,
Okay.
Good
Steel
to know.
Panther.
Good to
if
know.
you want to laugh and have a good laugh home, you put a couple of songs on and you're gonna
No, she just
die.
puts on my music.
Guys, when do you have anything coming up? Our time is done, but I'd like to know where are you guys playing? What's
Yeah.
any
I'm
shows?
probably going to play with myself.
You got the sock. It's ready.
Sorry,
Yeah,
Mom.
got the
Sorry,
song
Mom.
and the Hummer.
The Hummer makes its second appearance.
We've got a lot of gigs coming up.
We do.
A very special, probably a couple of gigs for a benefit, actually, for something called the Liam Foundation here in Montreal.
Okay.
Yeah, so by the time this airs, I think one of the concerts will have been done, and the other one will be coming up this weekend, if we're
Sure. Okay.
So I got to know Chris Nyland from the Montreal Canadiens a little bit.
Sweet Knuckles.
Yeah, Knuckles.
Yeah.
So we have some
Love
mutual
Knuckles,
friends, and we were talking one day, and he was telling me about this foundation that he got involved with called the Liam Foundation.
I heard of it on the radio. I heard.
Yeah, so Liam is a young boy who I've met here in Montreal, and I've met his dad, Kevin. And Liam is 9, I believe, at this point, or maybe, no, he's 11 now. And he has mitochondrial disease. So mitochondrial disease is a cellular level disease that affects your energy, your cognitive abilities, your speech and stuff. So Liam has been struggling for a few years with that. And his dad, who has 3 other kids and is married and has a full-time job, has been reaching out for help. And so Knuckles said to me, "You think you could do anything?" So I thought, yeah, I know a few people. And I thought, why don't we do a benefit concert? So the July 8th show is in Hudson. It's at Chateau du Lac, and we'll feature the Nils from Montreal, former Loyola grad, Mark Donato, 87, in that band. And the Nils will be headlining, and then Jeff Smallwood, who's a guitar player that everybody knows in Montreal, has played with all the big names.
Sure.
Will be playing, and then Karen and our band will be playing, and we have a few special guests, and Ted Bird is going to be hosting and emceeing the evening. So
Cool, that'll be cool.
And tickets are only $25. Show up at the door, put your $25 in. We've got door prizes, and
All the proceeds go to the
every
Liam
single
Foundation.
dime.
Do you have a poster of this or something?
We do.
Yeah.
It's online, actually, at Karen's website.
Send it to me. I'll
Yeah.
post it. You'll see it.
Femoir.ca.
Femoir.ca.
We're gonna. Okay, yeah. I was gonna ask you on and okay. And you post all your gigs and stuff.
Yeah,
as
so
Yeah.
when you go onto that site, you'll see that we've got shows coming up at Cafe Campus.
Cool.
And then the big one at the end of the summer, we're playing Studio TD, which is our big headlining show down, it's the old Music Plus building.
Yeah.
Where they have the TD Jazz headquarters. So that's
September 30th.
September the 30th. So we'll be back on the show here before then. And of course,
Absolutely.
doling out comps and contest tickets. And we do have a couple of comps
Absolutely.
to give away to upcoming Karen's, some of our upcoming shows.
Yeah.
So if you're interested in getting the comps, just go to femoir.ca and fill out the form and send us a note, and chances are you'll win.
Yeah.
We're gonna have a few
Send us
comps.
a note, yeah, sign up for the
Amazing.
newsletter, that kind of thing, yeah.
Guys.
And then we go into the studio in the fall and record a new album.
Oh, great.
That's
all the
right.
songs written.
Getting there.
Some, yeah, some.
Well, I have a
Send me-
box of music. She has a box of lyrics, and we're going to spend the playing
Put them
matchmaker.
together,
Love it.
yeah.
It's good, like a good song is like a good marriage, right?
Amazing.
You got a male component, you got a female component. They both can exist independently with room to breathe. The song survives.
Or
Yeah.
2 males or 2 females.
Or two
Yeah.
males or two females. Yeah.
Thank
you, Karen.
So is everything?
Or a male and an animal. And
Anything.
Is everything on the website? Do you have an Instagram account or Facebook?
Yeah,
that kind of
Instagram, I'm still on Twitter, Facebook, all of that, Bandcamp, SoundCloud.
Always
it's
under
all
Karen
the
Myatt?
logos. Yeah, if you just Google that name, it should come up
thing?
first.
Okay, and the
but-
website is femoir.ca.
Yep, all those links are right on the website. On
And
the
my
page.
website is hummer.ca.
Do not go there. Jeez, what are they gonna find?
What are
Yeah.
they gonna find? I just, all of a sudden our sales are through the roof. They go public, you know.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much.
Oh, thank
Thanks
you.
for
It was
having us. It's been a
fun.
blast.
It was really. If you guys want to sing us out, I'll say if you want to like play a song or sing something or something quickly, and I'm gonna say the end.
He's gonna surprise me with whatever it is.
I love it.
I don't know what that is.
Opening song. Opening song.
Oh, this is a Cassandra Wilson song.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, we could do that. Yeah, sure. You're gonna speak.
So thank you so much for being on Sessions and Stuff, guys. You guys are